Hey, what up, guys? It's Ryan with Brainstorm. So, diamond problems are like actually fun. And I know that I sound like an extreme math nerd, which I am. I mean, I make math videos. But these are like riddles, right? And so that would be a good first question like, hey, why am I spending my valuable time on Earth learning riddles, right? And the reason you learn diamond problems, I'm not sure if everyone tells you this, is eventually this has to do with something called factoring, which is later on in your life, factoring polynomials. And so this is kind of like planting a seed of logic so that down the road when you learn factoring it's much easier. But for now it just seems like riddles, but in all honesty these are like kind of fun, all right? And so they look like this. It's called a diamond problem because it forms a diamond, even though in real for the rest of the problems I'm not going to do the outer border, so it really looks more like this, right? And the rule is you have two numbers, A and B. And the first number goes here, and the second number goes here, and above it's him times him up here, and below it's him plus him down here. And so that should be confusing, but look, with real numbers it's like this, 3 and 2, right? Well, to find this guy, all you do is 3 times 2, 6. To find this guy, 3 plus 2 is 5. It is that easy, right? And so why are these so fun if it's that easy? Because eventually it starts getting tricky depending on which piece of information they give you and which one you have to figure out, right? So let's go through a bunch of diamond problems and I'll challenge you to be able to fill them in, and you'll see why they get kind of tricky. Okay, and I'll leave this little cheat sheet over here for you to look at if you need to remember. Okay, so first problem might be something like this, right? So they'll say 4 and 2, and they'll ask you to find x and y, right? Fill these guys in, x and y. And you're like, oh man, this is no problem because the top is just him times him. So you're like, well, that's easy. 4 times 2 is just 8, right? Too easy. Try to challenge me. Bottom is just these added. 4 plus 2 is 6, so y would just be 6. Right? And there will be problems like that in your life that are just that easy. When they say do these diamond problems, you'll be like, okay, I can do these all day. So, and don't get too cocky because what if they give you other info? So let's do a bunch now. I'm going to give you a bunch. Okay, and instead of putting x and y for the unknowns, I just left them blank. And your instructions are, hey, fill in the whole diamond, right? And so let's go. We got 3 of them. Okay, well, this is pretty easy because this is like the other one, right? The top is him times him, so that's 20. The bottom is him plus him, 9. Okay, that was mellow, right? Uh-oh, wait a minute. This is a little weirder. So now we don't know this guy, right? But we were given the other information. Not too hard still because something times 3 is 15 and something plus 3 has to be 8, the same number. I think the easiest is to find this kind of subtraction problem because isn't it true that something plus 3, and call them x or call them unknown, right? Something plus 3 has to equal 8. Well, minus 3 minus 3. What is that? That means x is 5. And let's test that. Is that true? 5 times 3 is 15? Of course. And yeah, you probably could have done that in your head. What plus 3 is 8? You would have said 5, or you can do the math, right? Okay, well, what about this one, right? So now we have, this is kind of tricky. It looks like 2 times some number is 14, or 2 plus some number is 9. And that's the cool thing about the, you can actually do either way. So 2 plus, I don't know, is 9. Minus 2, x equals 7, right? Or you could say 2 times I don't know equals 14, and you would have got the same thing, right? It would be 7. And then it's always good to confirm at the end. 2 times 7 is 14, 2 plus 7 is 9. So that came out. So you're probably feeling pretty good about this. Let me show you by far the hardest ones. Those are like medium difficulty. So let me show you the tricky ones. You ready? And this is probably the worst setup. What if they don't give you either number, but they give you what it multiplies to be and what it adds to be? The problem is if you just kind of do this quickly in your head, you're like, well, I already know what multiplies to be 12. It's got to be 4 and 3, right? So you're like, well, that was easy, right? You're like 4 and 3 multiplies to be 12, done. But wait a minute, when I check it, 4 plus 3 does not equal 8. So that's weird. So just by telling me what multiplies to be 12 does not necessarily work. What about if I just pick two numbers that add to 8? Will that work? Right? What if I only look at him and I'm like, oh, I got two numbers, 5 and 3. That adds to 8. Here's the problem. 5 times 3 doesn't multiply to be 12. So you're like, oh man, this is a little weirder than I thought. Here's how you do this. Are you ready? This is the best way to find two numbers that multiply to be him and add to be him. You don't start by guessing numbers that add to 8. There's just too many. There's actually infinite that add to 8. So that's the worst way to do it. You start by numbers that multiply to be 12. So you come up here somewhere off to the side on your scratch paper and you say, what two numbers multiply to be 12? And you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, 12 times 1, that's 1. I guess 4 times 3 is another. Well, what about 6 and 2? That's another. Then once you've done that, once you've definitely found all the factors of 12, then you come through and say which one adds to 8. Does 12 plus 1 equal 8? Nope, that didn't work. Does 4 and 3 add to 8? Nope. Oh, wait a minute. Check this out. 6 and 2, does that add to 8? For sure. And the final step is to check your work. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's the trick. Find the factors of 12 and then see if they also satisfy the bottom part, all right? Okay, let's do a couple more of those because those are the weirdest. Okay, so here's 2, all right? Remember, these are kind of hard. So you're like, ooh, bummer. Something multiplies to be 14 and adds to be 9. And I know some of you little Sharpie-acts are like, I got this. I'm gonna do this in my head. I don't need this Ryan guy. This is too easy, man. That might be true, but some of the numbers are weird, so make sure you know this process. I don't know what two numbers multiplied by 14 add to 9. So I'm going to take 14 and find the factors. Well, 14 times 1 is one factor. What's another one? 7 times 2. That's another set of factors for 14. Is there any others? I'm like 3, 4. Nope, that's it. And now I look. Does 14 and 1 add to 9? Nope. Does 7 and 2 add to 9? Totally. So 7 and 2 is my answer. Now I'm going to make sure. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 plus 2 is 9. Nailed it. That is my solution to my diamond problem. And again, it's called diamond because of that, even though I never draw the actual diamond thing. Okay, this one. Two numbers that multiply to be 24 and add to 11. Too hard. I don't know. Who knows? 24 and 1. And I'm going to be like, I don't know, 6 and 4. And then isn't like 12 and 2. And then, I don't know, like 8 and 3. There's a bunch of combos, right? And now I'm going to kind of test them. Well, 24 plus 1 is not 11. 6 plus 4, ooh, that was close. It's 10, but it's not 11, so it's wrong. 12 and 2 is not 11. 8 and 3, wait a minute, 8, 9, 10, that works, right? So 8 and 3. Now I make sure 8 times 3 is 24. 8 plus 3 is 11. Sure enough, that is my solution to my diamond problem. So those are weird. I mean, if they give you other info, it's easier, but when they only give you the top and bottom, you got to admit, that's kind of tricky. And that is exactly what factoring polynomials is going to be in your life in like a year or two. All right, just to give you a heads up. That's called foreshadowing. All right, you guys. So diamond problems, I'm going to be honest, are super fun. Like, you know, if I went on like vacation to Cabo, I'd probably like bring some diamond problems with me to just do them like by the pool because I think they're that fun. All right, you guys, good luck.